Hi everybody, Alex Zhavoronkov here. Just a while ago, we've announced the launch of our drug discovery and development benchmarks. By the way, if you haven't seen ddp.insilico.com, you'll see it in the links. One of the most important initiatives that we're announcing this year. And now many of the frontier AI model developers are working with Insilico to either benchmark their models or make their models better in many drug discovery and development tasks, because humans are not really good at evaluating either the therapeutic targets that are coming out of the platform if they are novel, or the molecules that are coming out of the model that you are going to test in animals anyway. So many people who started collaborating with us actually asked me, like, Alex, what is your AI strategy going forward? Why are you giving much of this competence and proprietary benchmarks and evals away to the community and making frontier foundation models for intelligence in science around the world? And the answer is very simple. At Insilico, we were always at the frontier of generative artificial intelligence drug discovery revolution. Some of our early papers on molecular multiparameter optimization using generative algorithms were published as early as 2016. And in 2019, we published our first big experimental paper with the work that we did actually in 2017 on demonstrating that we can use generative tensorial reinforcement learning to generate molecules that work in mice in 46 days, at least on the PK level. So these were, first records. And then we opened many of those algorithms for the entire world to be purchased as software. So now we have more than 3.5 thousand users that used our software in one way or another, and we refer to it as software. So back then I explained that we really need to launch those tools for everyone and give our own capabilities to the entire community for one specific reason: for validation. You need to understand how people use those tools and in what settings, in what conditions these tools perform well, and where we need to either be more careful or we need to significantly improve the algorithm, and also which model works for which application. So internally, we actually use pretty much the same tools as what we are providing to the market. It's just we usually have a much more significant level of community level validation and know where things work just from the feedback people are providing. So we're actually internally restricting ourselves from having any insight and any data that is generated on the platform by our customers. However, very often you really need to get just the binary, whether it worked or not, and sometimes just like or dislike to evaluate the performance of the model. So now we got very good at benchmarking and evaluating the models, where we want to teach other people to do the same. And we think that in the future, what will matter is capital, infrastructure, and great ideas coupled with intent and hard work. So when you have those three, you will be successful. And it also applies to drug discovery. So we want to ensure that we have the infrastructure in place and also come up with many more great ideas on how to utilize AI. So we actually don't treat other AI companies as our competitors. We believe that in the future, much of drug discovery will happen in silico, so in AI, much more than before. And we will be able to utilize many of the foundation models for really extreme drug discovery tasks where they are not performing well today. We actually want to give these capabilities to foundation models wherever it's possible and teach the frontier foundation model developers on how to achieve this level of performance where you can trust the model to really generate a drug that you can to an animal at least without the fear that it's going to have significant side effects. So my vision for AI is that it will become much more accessible. The mode that you are creating in software is not going to stand for a long time. So you need to be able to AI into products such as therapeutics that take a while to develop, or biomarkers that also take a while to develop, or longevity, so preventative action or highly restorative and regenerative action that also will have a significant timeline to develop. So by making much of our expertise available to others, we're actually making ourselves stronger. Because if you know how Insilico works, our first half of this year, we actually just reached profitability while being at the very forefront of AI development and drug discovery by actually being able to utilize the infrastructure that we've built and also our network of partners to frontier AI into real valuable therapeutic asset that we can out-license to pharmaceutical industry or develop ourselves to a certain point where it will be either out-licensed or commercialized. So we believe that this virtuous circle of building AI, benchmarking it, and using it for the drug discovery and development with this rapid feedback is the moat. It's not the TRAI foundation model. It's not the harness. It's not the to the many market players. It is the ability to do all of that in one place with the intention of constantly developing best-in-class or first-in-class or absolutely mechanism-based therapeutics and scale. As you scale in drug discovery, you get chances of scientific serendipity. We already see absolute sparks of true luck. The more experiments you run, you start observing something that you did not expect, the AI did not expect. And you manage to detect those very rare events, go deeper, and uncover novel types of biology or chemistry. We just observed that with pain. We just observed that with some of our CNS drugs. We just observed that with metabolism. We just observed that with ocular diseases. So something that we did not expect happened, we utilized frontier AI to understand that it happened, went deeper and uncovered potentially blockbuster therapeutics with new mechanisms. So this is the future of Insilico. We need to scale. And we also want to scale on the AI front. We don't want to be a gladiator in a ring trying to use of the scaling laws in AI. And I don't think we can do that without becoming massively unprofitable and trying to fundraise constantly to develop to chase the next most intelligent reasoning model. We want to be the teacher for other AI companies. And now we're moving from the software package that we provide to the market. So previously we had Pandaomics, Chemistry 42, Insilico, and other tools in biology, and medicine being available with defined interfaces, with very specific workflows. Now we're continuing to maintain and develop those tools if you like the interface. However, we now transformed many of those tools into very specific MCP and API-based products where you can plug it into your favorite harness or connect it to your reasoning system with an OpenClaw and utilize them as orchestra. So that is a much easier way for us to scale and to provide more value to the market, satisfy the demand where it's where there is demand, because now foundation models will squeeze out many of the specialists, drug software makers. Actually, software market is tiny compared to the drug market. So those that actually don't have the drugs, they will not survive, in my opinion. So we would have not survived just as a platform company. And we think that the real moat will be in the ability to provide intelligence to artificial intelligence vendors to make them more capable, work with the more stable companies in the industry that are likely to remain. Many of the gladiators are not going to be there, in my opinion, in the future, but we still want to support them and ensure that we can provide a really good plug-and-play experience with frontier AI tools via platforms such as Amazon, Microsoft, Tencent, and others to ensure that as people start adopting AI at scale, even an administrator in the company can very rapidly become a drug hunter by utilizing the common platform that is being used in the company for drug hunting. So there will be very, very significant blend of experiences and skills within organizations, and we want to contribute to this kind of convergence. So anybody can do anything, and with the right intent. So we want to provide more tools for your harness. We want to provide more intelligence for your model. We want to use your harness and model back at Insilico and constantly trade intelligence as we generate more drug discovery data, more drug discovery experience, and more ideas in both AI and drug discovery. Our goal is to extend healthy, productive longevity for everybody. That's why we also have models that specifically go after longevity tasks. We invent new benchmarks in this area. And our job is to make intelligence more fluid, more accessible, and also more understood for folks that are transitioning from pure play AI. I went through this journey several times already into drug discovery. That bridge from AI to drug is massive. Most people do not understand how huge the gap is between intelligence and the drug, and how much work do you need to do in between. That is why we think that our moat is being able to very rapidly cross this bridge in both ways, and we want to make other foundation model and harness developers more intelligent and make our AI more fluid. So our AI strategy long-term is focused on benchmarks. It's focused on working with model developers to build better models. Is to develop better skills, develop agents, and then bring all that to the market. And then use all that to develop better therapeutics that we can supply to the pharmaceutical industry as they're facing the patent expiration cliff, and fund more frontier AI research. So we want to be maximally sustainable because our goal is to develop the first generation, and hopefully the many generations, of longevity therapeutics that will give you additional few years of life. So 1 year of life for everybody on the planet, 8.3 billion life years. That's about 110 lifetimes at current life expectancy. If you give, a decade, you're basically creating more than 1 billion lifetimes. It's a huge, and we want to be a player in a generation of more lifetimes for the world, for history. That's why we think that we want to be maximally flexible in our approach to AI and enable other AI companies to get better in drug discovery. We're not out competing ourselves because our job is to cross the bridge between AI and the real drug very quickly, efficiently, and feed back into the AI. Thank you, everybody. I hope it was useful. This is our AI strategy, maximally open, intelligence back and forth, and the creation of new therapeutics for longevity. It's a win-win-win. If we are successful, you will live longer. Thank you very much. Please do collaborate with us.